JS prom, including end of school ceremonies such as graduation. Now, for the city of Manila, the most challenging in its COVID-19 response is in providing financial assistance to more than 500,000 families. But Manila is the first local government to pass an anti-discrimination ordinance for frontliners and COVID-19 patients. How are line agencies and local governments preparing for the worst during this pandemic? We discuss in this episode of the Chiefs. And welcome to this special episode of the Chiefs, of course, via online StreamYard. And with me right now is Ami Pamintuan, the editor-in-chief of the Philippine Star. Ami, kamusta ka dyan?
Kumusta ka na?
Anong malaking star na dyan?
Kagabi, hindi ba lahat tayo nanood kay Presidente, late night, end of the week or start of the week assessment.
It's becoming a midnight habit, ha?
Oo nga.
Well,
ng assistance for the middle class. So, maganda yon, di ba?
Yeah, and nag-elaborate yan kanina si Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles. Pero, Bok, ang guest natin ngayong for today, yung mayor nyo dyan sa Manila. When I say mayor nyo, dahil ang Philippine Star, of course, is in the port area. Ang mayor ninyo dyan sa Manila na si Manila Mayor, of course, si Yorme Isko Moreno. Yorme, thank you for joining us po.
Hi, Ed, Ami,
Hello,
sa lahat ng staff nyo dyan. Kamusta kayo?
Mayor, balita namin, isang buwan na kayo nasa opisina.
Hoyo.
kaya ba kayo nakasombrero?
Dito sa Oblo. Hindi naman, nakita ko na rin ng pamilya ko siguro mga 4 times na.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm.
But I stay here. I stay here in CTO since day one. 24 hours. We try to address as many problems as possible. If we can address it immediately, and so be it. So we've been running the city government 24/7 in our own little way. Very challenging. Very challenging.
Mayor, medyo mahirap talaga ang Manila. It's one of the most crowded.
Yes.
Mahirap yung physical distancing.
Yes. One. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Mayor. We can hear you.
Yes, we can.
One, yes, it's very challenging. We have hello.
Okay po.
Sorry Okay, una, dense, no? Yung high density namin per square kilometer, we're about 77,000 per square kilometer. Wala kami masyadong subdivision, meron kaming iisa nandiyan sa United Nations. Most of it, marami kaming settlers by a bay, riverside, and creeks, and some portion of the highways. Marami kami talagang mga below poverty line. At isa sa mga challenge is masikip ang bahay ng isang mahirap na tao, mainit, at marami sila sa loob ng bahay. So, talagang pinipilit natin unawain ang katayuan ng mga tao at iniintindi natin pilit. But be that as it may, we have to continue to follow the national policy with regard to social distancing and quarantine and curfew of Manila.
Related to that, balita nga kasi namin yung isang barangay ni-lockdown nyo, yung complete lockdown for 1 day. Kumusta na po yung tapos ng barangay na dahil daw sila, nag-bingo, saka nag-boxing, around 100 people were caught. Kumusta na yung mga tao, saka kumusta na yung lockdown?
Mamayang alas 8 ng gabi, Ed, Ami, I just finished meeting with our enforcement unit, no, in the city, and finalizing everything so that we will implement it tonight at 8 p.m. until tomorrow 8 p.m. Nobody moves.
Mayor, binabasa ko kanina yung pangatlong report ng Pangulo doon sa Kongreso doon sa COVID-19 response. Ang nakita ko palang na figure doon sa nabibigyan na ayuda na doon sa mga mahirap na pamilya ay nasa 3.7 million. I'd like to ask you po, from your point of view as Mayor of Manila, Mayor of the capital city of the country, are enough relief getting to your constituents, to enough constituents in your city from the DSWD? Mayor, can you hear us, Mayor? Nawala atang audio ni Mayor.
Nawala yung audio.
Nawala yung audio ni Mayor. We'll try to get Mayor back on track in a few minutes. Kasi I was going to yung pangatlong report ni Pangulo doon sa Kongreso, so far ang sinasite niyang figure yung 3.7 million families out of the 18 million na dapat target beneficiaries ng Bayanihan Act. But going into the fourth week already, isang buwan na nasa 3.7 million pa lang yung nabibigyan na figure. At yun nga, kausap ko kanina si Celine Pilago ng MMDA, nagpasa ng MMC resolution, yung Metro Manila Council, lahat ng mga mayor nagrereklamo sa DSWD. Kinakalahati daw yung kanilang. Ayun, yan si Mayor.
Nakabalik
Mayor,
na.
can you hear us? Mayor, can you hear us now? Wala pa rin audio.
Hindi pa rin. Mas mahirap
Baka nakamute si Mayor.
Mahirap ang problema sa Manila dahil nga napakarami doon na informal sector. At napakahirap ng paperwork din, hindi ba?
Yun nga that's what I want to ask from Mayor Isko. Kung ilan yung sa kanila sa pananaw ng LGU, ilan dapat yung makover nitong doon sa 18 million families, ilan dapat ang galing Manila versus ilan yung inaprubahan lamang ng DSWD.
Kaya nga, hindi ba dapat covered ka ng some form of government ID, some membership somewhere? Hindi naman lahat yan, merong ganun.
Hindi lahat. Yung meron pa lang ata nun, yung 4-piece. Mayor, can you hear us now?
May diferensya sa City Hall.
Mayor, matindi masyado lockdown nyo, pati ang audio hindi palabas. We're still trying with Mayor Isko Moreno. Kanina okay na yung audio biglang bumagal siguro yung internet. Baka marami nanonood ng Netflix yan sa area ni Mayor.
Nanonood lahat
yun din.
Di ba kinikwento niya, we asked him about the rollout of the mass testing. Sabi niya, matagal na palang nag-umpisa ang maraming testing. Hindi naman napakarami, pero 40 ba yun o 50? Kaya daw nung kanilang sa Santa Ana, they have a facility in Santa Ana para maramihan yung testing nila. So, importante yung naumpisahan even before kung roll out supposedly today. And then kapag nadagdagan, magiging 1,000 in a week. 1,000 kaya nila. So, kaya na yata si Mayor. Tingnan natin.
Nandiyan naman si Mayor?
Makakatulong daw yun, di ba? Makakatulong yung 1,000 in a week. Malaking bagay yun in densely populated Manila.
Santa Ana ba yung kanilang testing facility?
Santa Ana yung facility. Dati na daw facility ng City Hall. Nag-cover ako ng City Hall, hindi ko alam yun.
Ikaw naman, nag-cover ka ng City Hall, first quarter storm pa ata I think Mayor's coming back. There. Mayor, can you hear us now? Ay, wala. Bumagal talaga yung internet ni Mayor. Baka we can have Mayor na lang on the phone. That way we can still get his insights kahit walang video. Di ba? Kasi yung ganito, nahihirapan si Mayor din Di ba? Ako, I would rather hear him than see him and not hear him at all.
Medyo matindi yung niya. Parang kasama medyo mahirap din nga naman yon. Pero it might start a trend, don't you think?
Hindi, may isang barangay sa Maynila, naglatag sila ng isang kabaong doon sa kalsada. Parang
Panakot na.
panakot na na stay inside or stay inside this coffin.
Oo, sa mga checkpoint
Ganon.
meron din na ganyan eh. Mukha hindi na
Ma- Mabuti na lang, alam mo naman Pilipino minsan yun, mabuti na lang na hindi na uwi sa amin nagsasakla doon sa tabi ng kabaong.
Baka magkaroon ka. Pero kumakalat na video, I don't know how accurate it is, saka kung yung timing, hindi ko alam kung ngayon yun o dati pa. Mga tao, nagpapahangin sa bubong.
Okay lang yun, sa bubong.
Tabi-tabi sila doon. Pwede kaya yun? Yun ang hindi ko alam. Hindi, medyo mahirap mag-social distancing din doon, di ba?
Yeah.
Pero pwede kaya yun, sa ibabaw ng bubong sa sarili mong bahay.
Ami, let's go into a gap first while they fix the technical difficulties. We'll come back in a while.
Okay.
And welcome back to the Chiefs, and we are back with Ami Paminton of the Philippine Star, and of course, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, who is now back with audio. Thank you very much again for staying with us, Mayor Moreno, and sorry for that delay.
It's okay. No
Mayor,
worries.
as you were talking about kanina, you're looking at several issues in Manila. One is yung super congestion na napakahirap tuloy i-enforce yung quarantine na nabanggit nga ni Ami. And the other one is yung tanong na kung sapat ba yung bilang ng mga pamilya ng Manila na nailista ng DSWD para doon sa Social Amelioration Program. Kasi ang pagkakabalita ko, nagpasa ng resolusyon yung Metro Manila Council na hinihingi sa DSWD na ibalik yung original na listahan na binigay ng mga Metro Manila mayors doon sa ilan dapat yung ilagay ng mga pamilya nila doon sa SAP. Kayo po, in Manila po, ilan po ba yung inaprubahan ng DSWD na bibigyan ng ayuda versus ilan sa tingin ninyo dapat as alkalde ang bigyan ng ayuda?
Well, as much as possible, no? Ako kasi totoo naman na kailangan natin bigyan ng diin ang pagtingin natin sa mga mahihirap nating kababayan on a regular day, no? On a normal situation, no? But having said that, if I'm going to be given a chance, I would rather give it to everybody because ang mayaman, middle class at mahirap, lahat yan ay may sikmura, no? At the end of the day, magugutom yun at maraming mahihirapan. In fact, marami na nahihirapan talaga ngayon. Particularly yung nasa gitna, no? Yung the working class o yung the middle class. Talagang but having said that, meron kaming isinumite sa kanila about 185,000. May sinumite kaming more or less about 500,000 ang binalik sa amin, about 185,000. So we submitted 185,000 names. But as you all know, we always continue to follow the national policy wherein it is DSWD who is the lead agency in distributing the SAP, no, yung tulong ni Pangulong Duterte sa mga mahihirap nating kababayan.
So bali po hinati po yung original niyong bilang.
Well, yun ang binigay sa amin. I would assume they have a basis for that. But more than anything else, we're still grateful because anything above zero is positive. And this is challenging times. Mahirap mamili na ang isang nangangailangan ay lahat tinatanggap para lang maitulong natin sa ating mga kababayan.
Opo. Pero I ask po about the numbers kasi hindi ho nga ba yung Manila po sabi nga ninyo iisa lang yung subdivision dahil marami pong mahihirap sa Manila. In the end, what would be reasonable for you sana as Manila Mayor? 80% of the population, 75% of the population? Kasi as it is, mga kalahati lamang ang sinama sa listahan.
Ako tingin ko at least mga 70%.
Mayor,
of the 500.
Or mga 570, 580.
580. Mayor, pwera pa yung problema ng trabaho. Yung mga tao walang ginagawa kaya sila nag-boxing, nag-video. Are you expecting similar problems like this in the coming days? Kasi magla-lockdown pa lang mamaya. Paano gagawin nyo kapag maraming nagsunuran dyan?
We'll penalize them. We have to put certainty. We have to put certainty in this situation. No excuses.
Yung one-day lockdown na yan, pwede yung ma-extend kapag hindi may mga pasaway pa rin.
Yes. And it can happen to remaining 895 barangays. It is a charge.
Barangay.
And I have 896 barangays. So
Paano
you
yung
really have to, if
nagde-deliver
there's one
ng mga...
unique if there's one unique thing about Manila compared to Metro Manila, 896 barangays meron kami.
Ah,
We have about 10,000 barangay officials and about 20,000 tanods. So sa barangay alone pa lang, we have about 30,000 people that we have to manage, coordinate, and at least convince to go to the directions na kung ano yung polisiya ng gobyerno. Yun ay barangay official pa lamang. So we really must be certain. Those who will violate should face the consequences of their actions. Because in our numbers is not going down. Yan, real talk lang na we have about 300 plus COVID positive, 400 plus PUIs. We've been doing 50 to 250 a day testing, swab testing. We've been developing our MIDCC, pinalalaki pa namin. Yesterday, inopen namin yung what we call the holding facility ng PUI, about 60 bedrooms, wherein PUIs will be taken care of by the city. Yung aming evacuation na convert sa holding area para mailayo namin sila sa kapahamakan yung kanilang mga mahal sa buhay, yung mga pamayanan at komunidad. So, medyo talagang hindi ka makakatulog, Ami, Ed. Talagang
pero
you
at
really
least
have to be...
mukhang okay naman yung mass testing nyo kasama kayo sa sinasabing mag-roll out daw. Naumpisahan nyo pala actually na several days ago pa.
Yes,
Bago
yes.
pa ngayon, ano na uli yung
We-
capacity ng Manila? Sabi nyo magkakaroon 1,000 tests.
1,000. We can do 1,000 a week.
Saan po nang
And this
gagaling
can
yung
be-
test nyo? Saan nang gagaling yung test kit nyo?
Oh, national government. This is a swab testing kit.
Yun yung PCR, hindi yung rapid test.
Yes. I agree. Yes. Kasi yun yung pinaka scientific, proven way of determining if a person has a COVID-19 virus.
Galing. Mga ilan kaya target nyo, Mayor, na mag-testing?
Well, this is how we do it, no, Ed and Ami. Binibigyan namin ng laya ang aming mga doktor kung ano ang kanilang suwestyon, kung sino ang dapat i-prioritize to test based on their assessment. And sa awa naman ng Diyos, Ed and Ami, modesty aside, yung pinakabagong bukas namin na pasilidad nakapag-produce na ng 14 na magaling. No? Lumabas na sila at nakaraos naman sila, awa ng Diyos. So, I always trust the judgment of our doctors kung sino yung dapat i-test agad at sino naman yung mukhang after basic examination hindi naman siya nakikitaan ng sintomas o alinman doon sa mga sinasabing posibleng dahilan kung bakit ka magkakaroon ng COVID-19. So, ganun ang ginagawa namin. We don't want to waste that kind of resources. It's very important. Kaya ang ginagawa namin, yung mga nag-PUI, yung mga nag-COVID-19 positive, meron kami ginagawa yung aming Manila Health Department, yung contact tracing, yung aming investigators, community investigators. Then that's we test those people. So those who were exposed are being tested. Ngayon mas na-modify kasi mas marami ang capacity ng ating lugar at ng ating resources. Sa tulong na rin ng national government. Ami and Ed, no, meron tayong partner dyan, no, yung national government and private hospitals.
Buti po naunahan niyo pa yung Marikina kasi Marikina has been trying to put up its facility for several weeks already and ngayong araw nagbabanta na si Mayor Marcy Todoro na with or without a permit from DOH isisimula nila yung mass testing nila kahit wala silang permit.
kami kasi, Ed, Ami, we always coordinate with the national government. We have PGH in the likes of Manila. No, let's just talk about Manila. We have PGH, we have San Lazaro, we have Jose Reyes, and also we talk to RITM. We're very patient, we're trying to be patient enough, including me. Modesty aside, when I got tested twice because I was exposed twice, and I have to wait for 5 to 6 days to line up with the regular line noong mga tinitest. And ang maganda lang ngayon, na-empower na ng gusto ang PGH through the leadership of Dr. Gap and other private hospitals and DOH for that matter. So, may awan Diyos, may awan Diyos. We always follow the same. Ang ginagawa kasi namin, Ed, we don't want to reinvent things eh. Para in sync lang ba yung national sa local. So so far naman okay naman, but I'm not happy with if you're going to ask me about existence of COVID-19 in the city, I'm not happy. Existence of PUIs with regard to numbers, I'm not happy because I think there's failure in a way along the way. And if we analyze this, ito ulit ako mananawagan talaga sa ating mga kababayan. Ang success po ng mga kampanya laban at programa laban sa krisis na kinakarap natin sa COVID-19 ay yung mga pagkilos natin, yung mga gawain natin, yung habits natin. We have to change that today and in the coming days and weeks. We really have to. Because that's the only, if I may put that in the right perspective, that's the only cure. And remember, wala na pumapasok sa ating outside source. We are the one. We are the one spreading it. Nobody else. It is us.
So local transmission na talaga ngayon.
Well, it's been 30 days, Ed and Ami, na walang dumarating dito sa bansa. Second, we're an archipelagic country. Wala rin biyahe ng barko for so many weeks now. So why there's continuous growth? Simply because of our habits or yung mga ginagawa natin. Kaya kailangan natin talaga magkaisa. Kailangan talaga na. I think it's high time. I hope our listeners and viewers would take this seriously. Ang pera ng gobyerno, mauubos po yan. As we prolong this, ang pera ng gobyerno mauubos. And don't ever think or try for the government to fail. If government will fail, then that's it for us. So,
Mayor, we'd like to give you the chance to. We'd like to give you the chance to deliver your message kung gusto mo pagbabanta sa inyong mga constituents. This is your chance to talk to them. What message you want to deliver?
Alam mo, Ed, mahaba ang pasensya ko eh. You know naman, Ami, Ed, I think nasubaybayaran niyo rin yung aking karera sa public service.
May utang pa kami. May utang pa kami sa iyo.
Ako naman kaya magpapasensya tayo. But there is always a dot on everything. And we're going to always be we're always going to be certain. No? Habang mayroon tayong puso o pangunawa o malasakit, pero kailangan meron pa ring pamamahala. We have to govern. We really have to govern. And this is not about Mr. Congeniality or Miss Congeniality. This is about real, honest to goodness public service. In real and honest to goodness public service, sometimes you have to bite the bullet. Maasim man ang suka, kailangan mong inumin. We have to do that sometimes. For the greater number, alam ko po na mga bagay na gagawin ng pamahalang lungsod, ang ninanais lang ay yung makakabuti sa higit na nakakarami. Yung mga ilan na medyo mukhang walang bigat sa inyo ang sitwasyon, just tell us, we'll put you in some place. A place that you want. Kung saan kayo nababagay. Kasi naawa na ako, pagod na ang mga tao, gusto na magtrabaho ng tao, gusto na magnormal ng tao, pagod na yung mga frontliners. Ilan pa ba gusto nyo kailangan mamatay na doktor? Ilan pa ba gusto nyo maririnig na nurse na nagka-COVID-19 virus dahil nahawa sa pasyente? Ilan pa? Ano pa ang kailangan nating marinig para tayo makinig at makiisa? I don't know anymore. But for now, one thing I guarantee you, Ami, as Manilans and Ed, no, I will not give up. We will not give up. We will continue. We will going to be persistent, consistent, and compassionate at the same time to the situation of our people. May
Okay.
awan Diyos, may awan Diyos.
Okay. Mayor, we know you're busy. We wish you the best of luck. We'll let you go na po
Thank
para
you.
you can rest or do what you need to do. It's only midday and I'm sure you have a long day ahead. Maraming salamat po for joining us.
Salamat
Thank you,
po.
Ed. Thank you, Ami.
Thank you po.
Yung utang niyo
Well,
sa akin, ha, dinner, ha?
Oh, teka, baka kalimutan ko na pinag-usapan natin utang. May utang kaming pusta kay Mayor. Nagpustahan kami.
Thank
Pagkatapos,
you sa
Mayor,
mga
pagkatapos
staff.
po ng
Thank you.
quarantine, saka kami babayad ng utang namin.
Oo.
Okay, sige.
Thank you.
Ingat po.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Ami, up next, we'll have Education Secretary Leonor Briones. So please stay with us. Don't go away.
We're now with Education Secretary Leonor Briones. Welcome to the Chiefs. We're on streaming. We're with Edlin Gao, TV5. Una-una po, ma'am, kamusta na po kayo? Because we know that you were a person under investigation for COVID. Kumusta na po ngayon ang status nyo?
I've always been the same. I've always felt well since the time na nagpa-test ako. That was as early as March. Ay 3 times a day kinukuha yung vital statistics, vital information. Lahat naman within normal limits. Never ako nag-go beyond the normal limits for the indicators. At saka symptomatic ako. Oo, kaya I was quite confident na I would come out of this episode victorious and successful, and that's what I would like to share with those who are fearful because they have been identified, etc. But we can manage it. Susunod lang sa mga utos ng doktor, sunod lang sa mga traditional Asian medicine natin which we have been practicing for centuries in our various societies. In my case, I followed the advice of Secretary Anyo, who is also now a declared negative person.
Hmm.
Oo. Yung
Mhm.
kanyang nauna kasi siya sa akin na na-declare na negative, at saka nauna din siyang na positive. So I
Mhm.
asked him what he did, and combination ng traditional ways of keeping healthy and also following the doctor's order, very strict sa isolation, strict sa quarantine. Lahat na staff
Mhm.
ko, they are now in isolation.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Ma'am Secretary Ling, just so the viewers know po, para may context yung viewers, si Secretary Ling Briones tested positive nung April 2. Tested positive for COVID-19 nung April 2. But nung April 9, her third test nag-negative na. So there was one test kung saan nag-positive si Secretary Ling. That's why everybody was so concerned about you and your health. Yan lang po,
Oo.
para people know what we're talking
Kasi
about.
yung pinaka-first ko talaga was March, and
Apo.
March 13 yun. Yung una talagang bugso na nagkagulo lahat ng tao because a senator was identified, mga ganun. That was my first test, and that it was also negative. Tapos yung April 2, nag-positive ako because a cabinet member was identified as positive. So I took the test. And then itong third was on April 9, negative.
Mhm.
So 2 negatives out of 3.
pero
to 3.
sabi nila ma'am, kailangan nyo pa daw ng yet another test para lang daw to be cleared completely. Yun ang sabi ng mga health experts.
Ah.
Going through with that.
Yung aking doctor, nagsabi siya na I'll have to have a third test. I don't mind. Pero mayroon ding iba nagsabi, may tumawag din sa akin galing sa department na hindi na daw kailangan. But kung kailangan ko mag-test uli, I would be very happy to do it.
I'm
Kasi
curious, ma'am. May binanggit kayo ma'am na you are following traditional Asian health practices. Ano pa po yun?
kayo all familiar with that, yung mag-gargle ka ng warm water and salt, inom ka ng luya or you mix it with turmeric, and may iba nilalagyan nila ng garlic, ako hindi. Kanya-kanyang style, regular na steaming, magpapa-steam. Yung sa Bisaya we call it tuob. Sa sa hospital tawag nila yun, magpa-steam ka sa sa system mo. So lahat yan mga traditional ways, tapos vegetables, fruits, plenty of liquids, yun sinusunod ko. And of course, the strict quarantine and isolation. Ang staff ko na directly working with me, mga 25 sila. All of them are right now in isolation. Hindi pa rin namin sila binitiwan until I am declared talagang totally free. Pero yun, we are very optimistic that the results will be positive and helpful. In the meantime, it does not stop us from working kasi DepEd, of course, as all of us know, is the largest organization with the biggest budget
Mhm.
and nearly 1 million people. Can you imagine, Ed, kung hindi namin masweldohan last March yung aming mga tao, kung hindi namin nasweldohan, advance pa nga eh, first
That's
week
almost
pa
a
lang
million.
ng April,
That's almost a million people.
yeah, yeah, first week pa lang ng April, ano na, inuna na namin yung full month salary. At saka ni-negotiate na namin yung postponement ng mga pagbayad ng interest ng mga utang nila. And then
Mhm.
also the schools na private schools which we have to compensate for helping us out. Eh kung pababayaan yan, we will be affecting a very significant portion of the population and contributing to our problems. So, sweldo is in place, bayad sa utang in place, uniforms, performance bonuses, lahat yan, inaasikaso namin. Kaya hindi pwedeng tumigil ang department.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes.
Mm. Ma'am, what about next year? What's the plan for next year? Kasi hanggang end of April to, so kakainin yan, baka kainin pa niyan na a part of May. And June is traditionally the opening of classes. Are you looking at moving the opening of classes to another month or may decision na ba doon? O paano?
Right now, we are conducting a survey kasi we want to consult all the sectors. May ugali kaming nagko-consulta ng mga parents at iba't ibang sectors, mga experts, etc. Kasi very ito, significant ito kung halimbawa galawin namin yung calendar, it will
Mhm.
have to be on a permanent basis na, hindi kaysa ngayon mag-July kami, next year mag-June na naman. So maiinis yung mga parents, etc. So we are studying very carefully. Kaya nga nagme-meeting kami intensively. Nagpapa-survey kami. Actually, yung mga regional directors namin have been instructed to do their own consultations. Pagkatapos i-report nila kung anong sa tingin nila, sa tingin ng parents, sa tingin ng mga other educational institutions, kung dapat bang i-move o galawin yung ating calendar. In the meantime, alam naman ninyo na sinabi na namin na sorry kids, sorry lola, yaya, baka hindi natin ma-hold ang graduation dahil sa patakaran ng pamahalaan.
Oo
Tapos
naman
isa
po.
din,
Mhm.
oo, isa din big event na talagang exciting na exciting yon na lahat ng buong bansa nakikisama, nakikisali ay yung palarong pambansa, no? Our last palaro was attended by more than 30,000 people. So we are also postponing that dahil scheduled for May yan sa Marikina sana yon. Tapos mayroon sana tayong international athletic meet. Yung sabi natin ASEAN Schools Meet, lahat na ASEAN countries magpadala ng mga athletes nila dito sa atin. This is scheduled for November. We are also moving this meeting, this sports event. Malaking malaki sana ito, but we know that maski November, baka di pa namin maayos ang lahat na pangangailangan dahil nakafocus tayo lahat sa COVID.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
sa calendar, siguro within this week by May siguro or uh, early May or before the end of the month dahil we are meeting every week and getting feedback, makikita na natin kung ano ba talaga ang dapat gawin para sa school calendar.
Mhm.
Pero yung
But I'm sure,
graduation,
ma'am, I'm sure the parents would understand if you have to move the calendar a little bit back kasi this is an extremely unusual situation that we are in right now.
yes, yun nga lang, very, may mga implications yan
Opo,
dahil
that's true.
halimbawa, if we move the calendar year to July or August, we will be extending all the way to summer next year.
Mhm.
Oo, at saka yung mga schools natin are not really built for summer classes dahil mga one-story lang yun, ang ating one-story buildings karamihan, etc. Hindi sila built for extremes of heat. Kasi sa summer talaga libre naman yung mga bata. So tinitingnan natin yan lahat at saka matatamaan yung mga holidays which are considered important like Holy Week, mga lahat na piyesta diyan matatamaan. Pero ang importante na kung handa ba yung facilities natin to accommodate classes which will extend to summer. Hindi, we are not thinking only of August kasi pagkatapos ng school year yan, aabot talaga ng summer.
Mhm.
Aabot ng April, May, June yan. Oo, handa ba tayo? Handa ba kaming mag-accommodate ng ganong klaseng situation?
Ma'am,
And also the parents have to be consulted, of course. Yes,
Ma'am, apart from the extension of the classes, merong mga usapan na dahil nga sa problemang to, wala pang vaccine, wala pang cure na pang mass production. Baka daw tumagal tong ganitong sitwasyon and we might have to start thinking of an expanded program for online learning. Ano pang capacity ng mga public schools
yeah.
para yan?
Alam mo, Ami, we have been on online learning for 2 years already. There are schools which already do online learning. We started the computerization program na mga bata binibigyan sila ng laptop, no? Binibigyan sila ng tablets, sinasanay na sila. So, pero hindi natin masasabi na yung buong bansa ay handa. Pero where it is possible, we have been doing it even before COVID. Yung pag-declare ng community quarantine, that was in March 12. I was in Abra. At saka nakikita ko, inobserve ko, yung mga bata sa elementary, tinuturuan ng paggamit ng tablets nila, yung teachers nila, how they can communicate. Kasi even before, this is what I'm quite proud, Ed and Ami, is we think of the future and we have been looking at the future even before COVID. Na sinasabi namin, ang direction talaga is the use of technology. And
Mhm.
kung di kami hahabol niyan, maiiwanan yung mga bata. Kaya sinasanay na namin yung mga bata sa paggamit ng tablets at sa mga teachers natin. We have online courses actually. Ano pa kaganda ng question mo, Ami? And this is what I'm very proud to share with our parents. Mayroong site ang DepEd na tinatawag na DepEd Commons na halos 1 million na nang nag-a-access nito, teachers, students, parents. Yes, makikita mo yung lahat na curriculum, mga examinations, mga resource materials, etc. which anyone can access. May galing pa nga sa abroad, ina-access nila para mamo-monitor nila, matuturuan nila yung mga bata. So, if kasi nakikita na natin na this is the direction, COVID or no COVID, technology is really going to accelerate much faster than we ever imagined. So, we also have Ed and Ami. I also created, sabi ko nga, I joke nga in the department that I am the oldest in the department, but I have the youngest ideas. We have what we call a future studies group. What is education going to look like in the future? What
Mhm.
shape will it take? And
Pero
what will be the content of education in the
ma'am,
future
question lang po.
before COVID? Yes.
Ma'am, sabi
Oo.
niyo may access na sa mga computer. Ang problema daw ay internet connectivity. Ang sabi, 48% lang daw ang public schools natin ang may internet connectivity at this point. Tama ba yung report na yon?
Ah, I don't know kung ano ng pinaka-latest figures, no? Kasi palagi namin challenge ang ating mga servers na kailangan we have to enhance connectivity. Nagde-develop sila ng mga programs na hindi magiging dependent sa mga servers ng connectivity lamang tayo. And we were working actually on a method by which I myself can connect to any school, to any teacher, to any class at any time of the day sa buong bansa because that's what other countries are doing in the light of COVID. So, tama ka amin na yung connectivity is very important. Kaya we really encourage making available itong connectivity para sa mga bata natin, lalo na sa mga malalayong lugar. Yes.
Mhm. Ma'am,
Maganda
given
naman.
given the advances in technology and yung connectivity ng mga schools, are we in a position already to, for example, begin the next school year online lamang, or is that still too early? Hindi pa natin kakayanin with the infrastructure not yet in place.
And ang sinasabi ko, mayroong mga schools na tayo na online.
Opo.
Oo. At saka may mga yung training natin, halimbawa sa teachers natin ngayon, marami online. Lalo na yung sa mga international, galing sa international organizations natin. Pero pati yung amin online, like yung sinasabi ko, yung DepEd Commons, which is
Yung
very
commons.
popular.
Mhm.
Oo. And can be accessed by teachers and students and so on. Pero I cannot say naman, in all honesty, that totally mag-online na yung buong
Mhm.
education system.
Mhm.
Because as Miss says, the connectivity is a real challenge for us. So yung iba that trying to work out means by which na without being totally dependent on the servers, you can still continue connecting with each other. May mga nag-o-offer ng alternatives, and we believe that the ITC is considering all this dahil alam naman nila yung palagi namin sinasabing problema. Pwede mag-start and AMI, but I will not say totally.
Mhm.
Pero if a place like Abra already have elementary kids singing while they nakakatuwa kasi the way it is taught, pagdi-distribute ng mga tablets nila, kumakanta sila, then the way they close, they open, they operate, kinakanta yan lahat. It's a different way of teaching than what we, lalo na my generation, is used to. But we cannot say
Mhm.
it. You know, I always cite Batangas, I always cite Taguig, I always cite Makati. But there are many more schools right now who are going into it. Isa pa din
Mhm.
namin is yung tinatawag nilang homeschooling. Ah, even before 2016, inaalaw na yan ng department kasi some parents, naniniwala sila na mas epektibo sila kung sila mismo ang magtuturo ng kanilang mga anak. So yung mga bata nila, sila ang nagiging teacher. So
Mhm.
isa din sa pamamaraan yan na yung education na di-deliver sa ating mga kabataan. Pero
Well,
in the
Secretary Briones, it's always great to have you on the show. But more than that, it's great to see that you're okay. We hope you don't get another positive. If you do get that test, we hope you stay in good shape. And
oh yes, yes.
I'm healthy actually.
Oo,
yeah,
wala naman
and
din
very healthy.
ninyo. Nag-lecture na naman ako.
Okay lang po yan,
Meron lang
ma'am.
muna ito.
Ma'am, we'll leave you
Thank
muna.
you.
We'll leave you muna so that you can rest or work, depending on which you
Work,
prefer.
work.
I kind of figured you do that.
Yes,
Pero po,
yes.
we let you go po muna while we go into a gap. Ami, we'll have a feature guest when we come back from this gap, so please stay with us.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Chiefs. We are on the final stage of our conversation on the COVID-19 situation in the country. And we are now joined by data scientist Miko Gozalo, who is one of those behind the website COVID19stats.ph. Good afternoon, Mr. Gozalo. And of course, joining us is still Ami Pamintuan, the editor-in-chief of Philippine Star. Ami, that's Mr. Miko Gozalo of COVID19stats.ph.
No, very high-tech, Mr. Gonzalo.
Mhm.
Ano ba yung data
Tell us about it.
scientist? Maybe for our audience, what is a data scientist? What do you do exactly?
Okay, so yung sa data science, medyo bago siya na field, basically. So parang kailan na siya nag-emerge. Tapos dito sa data science, sa amin, sa work, we apply it through HR space. You can apply it to a lot of industries. So what we do with data science is we try to help all these companies, all these policymakers para mahanap yung mga trends, mahanap yung mga information para so that they can create better informed decisions based on data.
Parang visualizing big data, di ba?
Yeah, kasama dun yung visualization, kasama dun yung paghahanap ng patterns, kasama dun yung paggawa ng machine learning models so that it can help people para to do their jobs faster. So actually medyo broad siya and
So it's very interesting, no, in this confusing period of the pandemic. In relation to COVID, ano yung ginagawa ninyo? What do the data scientists do?
So sa amin, ang pwede namin i-contribute dito is we can analyze all the data that's available out there so that we can check. Kasi if you have data, things can be measurable. So if something is measurable, we know if the measures that we are doing are actually working or not. Or kung sakaling hindi sila nag-work, it can help the policymakers or administrators know kung paano yung magiging next steps nila.
So maybe you can give us an example, halimbawa, yung mga na-collate nyo ng data, kung how useful that can be. Siguro one sample.
Okay, so for an example, so we are collecting data. So as you can see in our website, we are collecting the information na pinaprovide ng DOH. So there we can also see the growth rate. So doon sa growth rate natin, makikita natin doon. So exponential mag-grow ang virus eh. So kunwari, may infected na isang tao, yung tao na bagong infect, pwede rin maka-infect na iba. So ngayon, if you monitor the growth rate properly, we know kunwari, yung ECQ ba, nakatulong ba siya? Bumaba ba yung growth rate natin? So, that is a good benchmark, lalo na sa pandemics, kung bumababa ba yung rate of infection natin.
Are we seeing a pattern already? If you look at the graph, nga pala, this is COVID19stats.ph. Ito yung website na tinayo ni Miko. So, we'd advise you guys to go check it out, COVID19stats.ph. Now, looking at the graph you have here, Miko, what does that tell you so far? Wala pang, are we anywhere near the flattening that we're looking for, or wala pa dun?
Alright, so if you can see the graph, nung umpisa, di ba mabilis yung growth, parang biglaan. So
spurt eh.
So may spurt kasi exponential yung pag-grow niya. But if you see for the past few days, medyo naging linear siya. So it could say many things. Number one would be, it could be na nagiging stable na yung pag-grow niya is nagpa-flatten out or naging linear na siya. So pag naging linear, ayun, yung parang straight line na siya. Pag naging linear siya, compare dati na exponential siya, you can say that the growth rate is going down. So it's still growing every day because it's cumulative. Pero the rate of growth is naging stable siya. So if
the curve is not as steep. The curve is not as steep as, for example, between March 20 and April 20. Yun talaga steep yung curve. Eh.
Opo. So that's one thing. Then with growth rates, the second meaning could be pwedeng na-outpace ng growth ng virus yung growth ng testing, but we cannot know that for sure because we don't actually know kung ilan ba talaga yung infected. Yeah, so it could mean either of those things. And hopefully it's the first one, which is nakakontain na natin siya kasi hindi na exponential yung pag-grow ng infections natin.
Can we infer from the data if the quarantine is working? Is that possible? Kasi
yes,
gusto malaman ng mga tao eh. Hanggang kailan pa ba itong kailan pa ito matatapos? And para sa matapos, we have to know if it is working, di ba? Is it possible from the data that you are gathering?
Yes, it is definitely possible to see it, pero ngayon, we have the caveats in there. So, the testing has to be stable at dapat tuloy-tuloy yung ating testing para talaga makita natin yung real numbers. Because it could be that the growth in here, kaya hindi na ganun kataas yung growth, kasi it could be that the bottleneck is the testing or the turnaround of testing. Because it could be that swamped yung ating testing facilities na meron tayong backlog. And if yun nga yung case, then we can only produce as much positive sales per day based dun sa capacity natin.
Could you tell us more kung ano, because we will need really accurate information, ano? Where do you collect your data? From the websites of the DOH or ITM? Ganun ba yun? How accurate is the data?
Okay. So in terms of data collection, kasi what we did in the website is we made the numbers. We tried to make the numbers as comparable as possible. So we can compare to other countries and so on. For global data, we get it from Johns Hopkins University's Corona Tracker. Then we also get the Philippine level data from DOH. Then for city level and provincial data, it's a combination of DOH, and every night we also go to the different pages ng regions, provinces, and LGUs para makita yung data sa report nila.
Let me just, Miko, let me just go through some of your findings. Dun sa general statistics, 6.39 yung case fatality rate ng Pilipinas. That's a bit higher than the world average of 6.23. Although hindi pa tayo sigurado kasi how accurate our numbers are dahil wala pa tayong mass testing eh. Then you have 4.35% na daily growth rate. Again, this is under general statistics. And you have the doubling time of 15.92 days. Miko, what does that mean, yung doubling time?
Okay, so yung doubling time basically is at our current growth rates for the past, kasi in-average ko yung growth rate for the past 7 days eh. So the reason why it's 7 days, kasi there might be a difference in reporting during weekends and weekdays. So that's flattens that out. So based on the average growth rate, we can actually compute kailan ba double yung number of cases natin. So our goal is pahabain yan para the more na tumataas yung doubling time natin, that means gumaganda yung ating pag-handle ng cases.
It takes more time for the numbers to double.
For the number of infections to double.
From what you are seeing now, you're also looking at the trends, no? And the government is planning, sinabi kagabi na posible na matapos na yung itong enhanced quarantine by May. You think, judging from the data that you have gathered, pwede yun? Kahit easing of the quarantine?
Definitely. Definitely po pwede po yun. So, based on what we're seeing right now, kung we just stick on the numbers, then pwede po yun. Pero po, ayun nga po, so we also have to take it with a grain of salt kasi nga po, we're not sure yet po if yung capacity natin is enough na to detect most of the cases.
Okay, let me also look at your stats by location. San Juan ang pinakamataas, then followed by Mandaluyong, Makati, Parañaque, Quezon City, Pasig, Pasay, Manila, Taguig. Sa probinsya, cases by region, NCR syempre tops, followed by Calabarzon, Central Luzon. So it's actually a gold mine of information if you want to look at trends and patterns.
Opo. So, I think especially useful po dyan yung part where we have the infection density or how many people, ilan ang confirmed cases per 1 million citizens. Because that will give you a snapshot of saan talaga yung hotspots natin. Because you might say that Quezon City has the most number of cases, but at the same time, mas malaki naman kasi yung Quezon City. So, anong nangyari sa San Juan, mababa yung population nila, yet we have a lot of confirmed cases. So, you can see from there na pwedeng hotspots sila. So, that information can help you na parang, there's something dito sa atin. Kaya we are seeing these numbers and we are performing worse than the other cities.
Mr. Gosag, tell us more about your group. How many people are involved in this project?
So sa project na to kasama ko yung mga kapatid ko, ano. So yung dalawang
Oh, it's a
kapatid
family
ko,
affair.
opo, talagang labor of love namin to magkakapatid. Talagang,
Puro data scientist.
opo, yung kapatid ko isa data scientist, then yung isang ate IT professional din po. So,
Saka, ano yung reaction dun sa website nyo? Are you getting an increasing number of
opo, dumadami po yung nag-visit every day and they are saying na mas user-friendly siya, na okay siya kasi the data is more digestible, which we appreciate, and we also accept criticism such that sabi ng iba na it's painting a grim picture by saying that San Juan, ganito karami yung infections niya per 1 million people. But actually, we're just laying out the numbers. We're just putting it into a perspective. We're putting it in a context para pwede siya i-compare with others.
Do you accept contributed data? Halimbawa, ganyan na may criticism or may gustong mag-correct, do you accept them?
Opo, tinatanggap naman po namin. So sa Twitter, active naman po ako na pag, kunwari may nag-request na meron silang gusto makita, then we show it to them, or if they criticize some of the points, we also explain how we came up with the computation. So basically, we explain naman how we compute stuff. Then from there, it's up to them to interpret it and start their discussions, at least fact-based yung kanilang discussions. And we also update this website every day. So 4 p.m. during the DOH update and every 11 p.m. for the LGU and provincial and regional updates.
It's fascinating that it's a family affair for you guys. So actually, I was wondering, ano pinag-uusapan niyo over the dinner table?
Ano po? Ano pinag-uusapan namin?
At the dinner table.
Dinner table. We have
anong datos mo ngayon?
Naman. So, minsan ganito yung mga usapan namin na parang, ano ba yung nakikita natin dito? Ayun. Pero ngayon kasi I'm based in Hong Kong. So, lagi kaming may video call. Pinag-uusapan namin na, yung data ngayon, ganito or ganyan.
Yung post-quarantine scenario, yung sa post-quarantine scenario, I'm sure you're also discussing it. Ano yung mga pwedeng application yan? Yung data science na yan, yung that kind of data gathering sa post-quarantine?
Pagdating sa data science, so big data, ganun. I think importante sa atin yung, kunwari, crowd levels, ganun. Kasi, for example, we know na, marami nagko-congregate dito. Kasi even after post-quarantine, I think importante pa rin yung social distancing. Kasi hanggat wala tayong nakukuha na vaccine or wala tayong nakukuha na talagang treatment na maayos para dito, ayun, importante pa rin yung social distancing. So using big data, I think you can infer, for example, maraming tao dito, so should we break this group or what? Or how can we promote distancing in these places?
Mr. Gosalo, you're based in Hong Kong, ano?
Apo.
Kumusta na po dyan? Kumusta yung mga Pilipino natin? Napakarami natin dyan. What's the situation?
Dito sa Hong Kong naman po, okay naman po. Less strict naman po. Wala naman po kaming lockdowns. Wala naman po kaming community quarantines as compared to the Philippines. Tapos yung cases naman po namin dito bumababa. Talagang ang nagiging issue lang po kasi for example po, marami po tayong mga Filipino domestic helpers dito. And Sunday lang po sila nakakalabas ng bahay kasi yun po yung day off nila. And that's their time para po to get together with their friends. So it's a challenge po how to practice social distancing kasi yun na lang nga po yung opportunity nila na para makalabas ng bahay to rest. Tapos po, mahirap din po para sa kanila yung ganito po na situation.
But it's interesting na napakalapit niyo po sa China at hindi nag-lockdown ng Hong Kong. Ano ba yung mga measures na ginawa nila immediately to prevent a lockdown or to prevent this kind of quarantine that we are experiencing?
Opo. So as of now po, lahat po na pumapasok sa Hong Kong, meron po mandatory 14-day quarantine. And they have testing centers near the airport. So just one station away from the airport, meron silang malaking testing facility doon so that all arrivals na meron pong symptoms can be tested. So most of our cases recently are imported cases. Ito po yung mga umuwi ng Hong Kong. Opo. So ayun po yung kanila measures na ginagawa para pong mabawasan. In terms of local transmission, stable naman po. Kasi dito naman po, medyo universal naman po yung pagsusuot ng masks and yung social distancing. People are practicing it. And I think right now it's illegal to have a gathering of more than 4 people, and I think it's effective in containing it.
So, inumpisahan siya kagad after the stories came out of Wuhan. Yung social distancing immediately ang Hong Kong ginawa na yun.
So actually po, lumaki po talaga.
It's so crowded, ano? Na medyo parang napakahirap mag-social distancing dyan.
Opo.
Without imposing quarantine measures.
So in Hong Kong po, we have 7 million people in such a very small area, so it's very dense. So ang ginawa po natin na approach dito sa Hong Kong po, kasi the good thing about Hong Kong, not really a good thing, but they had experience with SARS. So they've seen worse before, kasi yung fatality rate ng SARS sobrang taas po. So they know exactly how to respond already. So alam nila dati pa what social distancing is, they know what to do if they encounter this. So I think naging helpful talaga sobra yung nagsusuot nung simula pa lang na outbreak around before Chinese New Year, around last week of January. Everyone, lahat po nagmamask na dito halos.
Miko, I was looking at your statistics by country. China is number 7 with 82,248 cases. Parang it's been more than a week since it stopped growing in terms of infection. I'll ask you, not as somebody who's an expert in health, but somebody who's actually a data scientist, somebody who's looking at patterns. Does that seem to make sense? Na talagang zilch na yung growth niya at all, given how everybody else is growing?
They are still growing, but very slowly. Hindi na siya naging exponential, and most of the cases that they report are imported infections. I think yesterday or the other day, they had most of their infections were from Russia. So ito kasi ang problem kasi with China is most people are worried in interpreting data from China or in accepting the data that's provided by China, but based on the number that they're giving, it is what it is. And yeah. So na-overtake na siya ng countries ngayon.
I was just curious about it kasi the 82 thereabouts, I've been hearing that for a week na eh. So it's barely moved for a week eh. But anyway, sige. That's the only data that we have anyway.
Are you also collating data from China?
From ano po?
Are you also collating data from China?
Yes, we are. Kasi yun doon naman po sa tracker ng Johns Hopkins University. They take data from almost all the countries. And the only difference that we do, the changes that we do there is we remove Hong Kong and Macau from China. Because right now in Johns Hopkins reporting, it's part of China. But we try to pull them out kasi we know naman that they have separate healthcare systems. So it's just fair to extract those cases out of China just for the sake of doing comparisons.
You're looking at the numbers now from around the world now. Would you say that it's flattening now on a global scale?
On a global scale, bumagal po siya. Bumagal siya on a global scale kasi we can attribute this to the more drastic measures that the countries are doing. Kaso ang naging problema lang siguro, some of the countries, they did the measures too late na umabot na sa sobrang daming cases. Kaya tayo umabot sa situation na ito ngayon.
Okay, and Miko, there's one part of your menu that says how to help. Tell us about it.
Okay, so when we realized that we were gaining traction, nung nagkaroon na kami ng maraming users per day, we realized that aside from just providing information, parang gusto rin namin na how to provide people, to help people figure out kung paano sila makakatulong. So when we actually developed that feature, we tried to put users into mind. So kunwari ako, gusto ko mag-donate, one of the first questions would be, kano ko gusto mag-donate? Would it be sa frontliners? Would it be sa communities or kung saan? Then ikalawa is, For example, sa Philippines, cash is king pa rin eh. Pero nagisimula na magkaroon ng mga Paymaya, ng GCash, nagkakaroon na tayo ng mobile payments. So we
Pati
made sure
PayPal.
that we can also filter it out according to modes kung paano sila magdo-donate. So they can put their, I want to help frontliners using GCash. And ililist namin yung mga NGOs and other programs na tumutulong para doon.
Like here, you have a list of the banks for credit card transactions, and also you have a list of the possible recipients, like for example, the PGH Medical Foundation, Bayanihan na, pati yung Oplan contra COVID-19, yung Unite Tent We Stand, yung tent project ni Angel Oxin. Tama? And UNICEF, of course, and instructions on how to give to Damayan Ugnayan, and so on down the line. What about your website? Are you also in need of help with your website?
Meron po sa footer na website, meron po kaming donate link dyan, meron naman po mga nag-donate, and we use that money para po i-maintain kasi it costs money to maintain the website kasi kailangan po para sa mga servers. And so far, mayroon naman po mga tumulong. And we can also accept help. Like, pinakamahirap na part na ginagawa namin would be the daily updates that we do. So pupuntahan namin lahat ng Facebook pages ng DOH regional offices, Facebook pages ng provinces, ng regions to collect granular data.
So for example,
you can reach out to us. It's on the footer of the website, Twitter links namin.
Nico, I'm pretty low tech. I just want to know how large is the global community of data scientists? Is this a growing field?
Yeah, it is definitely a growing field. I don't have the numbers on how many data scientists are there. It's pretty new. Hindi naman sobrang bago, but it just emerged for the last decade. So, ayun, like, a lot of people are interested in learning data science. A lot of people are trying to switch their careers to data science. And ayun, it's still growing. And feeling ko andun naman talaga yung market kasi the amount of data that we're collecting on a global scale, it's just growing every day. And from those information, you can only make sense to them if you can find patterns. And you can find patterns sa kanila using data science.
And you can work from home. Very important in these days.
Parang ngayon, naka-work from home ako ngayon. Lunch break ko lang.
Yeah.
Miko, is there anything that you want to, any message that you want to put across to anybody watching, to people watching, people who may be interested in contributing or helping out, or people interested in what you do?
Okay, so a message ko lang is for people who want to help us, there is a link on the footer of our website. You can keep in touch with us. Then, para dun sa mga gusto na maging data scientist, ang tip ko lang sa inyo is marami tayong resources sa internet. So I think learning never ends. Just have the passion for learning. Just be patient. And from there, just use all the resources na nasa internet. And you can learn from there. Nung nagsimula naman ako, hindi ako nagsimula ng data scientist. I started out as a software engineer at nag-transition lang ako later. And it's very fulfilling, like seeing all these patterns from data. So ayun, just keep on learning. Yun lang yung message ko for everyone.
Kasi sasabihin nila, numbers yan.
Ay, hindi. Huwag sila matakot sa numbers.
Okay, maraming salamat. That's Miko Gozalo. He and his I think brother and sister, di ba?
Yep.
Babae at lalaki. Are behind the website covid19stats.ph. Miko, maraming salamat for joining us and maraming salamat for what you are doing.
All right, maraming salamat din po.
Thank you, Miko. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's our episode for the Chiefs. We hope to discuss here. We'll keep the conversation going. I'm Ed Lingao of One News.
I'm Ani Paminton of the Philippine Star, and we are One News.